Good morning, everyone. In the previous session of consumer behavior, I discussed about a new topic, and that was interdisciplinary contribution to consumer behavior, which means how various other disciplines, different subjects of study, has major contribution towards the study of consumer behavior. Without understanding these subjects, it is kind of very difficult to understand the consumer behavior pattern. And for that reason, these various disciplines needs to be understood, and to what extent these disciplines have impact or influence over the consumer behavior needs to be understood first, and then only a study on consumer behavior can be conducted successfully, which will give the desired results. Okay, so in the previous session I have said that there are five types or five disciplines which have major contribution towards the study of consumer behavior. So as you can see, these are the five disciplines which have major contribution towards the study of consumer behavior, that is economics, psychology, sociology, social psychology, and cultural anthropology. And in the previous session itself, I have explained only two disciplines which have contribution towards consumer behavior, that is economics and psychology. Now economics, as I have already said, it works on a principle that human beings are rational beings, and whatever decision they take, there is a certain kind of rationality and logic behind their decision. So that is the basic principle of economics, and it also focuses on other aspect of human behavior, is that they always have many number of choices. The decision, whatever decision taken by a human being, involves many choices. So out of the many choices, the person can select whatever he or she wants. So these are the things which I have already explained in the previous session. How demand and supply affect the consumer behavior, how income and purchasing power also affects the consumer behavior. Then I explained about the psychology, the study of mind, how different characteristics or how the personality of the consumer influences its buying behavior. So these are the things like needs and motivation, perception, learning, and attitude of a consumer has a major influence on the purchase decision of a consumer. So these are the things which I explained in the previous session. In this session, I am going to explain the other 3 points, that is sociology, social psychology, and cultural anthropology. So let's begin the session with sociology. So what does sociology mean? Sociology is the study of group and how this group has influence over over the particular member. See, as human beings, as human beings are social beings, we cannot survive in an isolated manner. We need a group of people. We need this group of people with whom we share certain of our principles, our values, beliefs, and everything. So as a human being, we always want to become a part of a group. So that is the basic nature of a human being. So as a human being, the first group that we are associated with, or the first group we become member of it, is the society. Society is the first group which helps us to understand what kind of principles, values, and ethic that prevails in a society. And society is one of the most influential social organization which has different set of values, principles, beliefs, and other things. Now we can say that the society is also various types. We can find out various types of society with various different types of thinking and perception and values. So every human being wants to become part of such kind of society. So in this point we are going to study how sociology impact the consumer behavior, means how sociology affects the buying decision of a consumer. Now as it is said that it is a study of group, now this group has major influence over the consumer. Now this group can be divided into two categories. The first one is society, Second one is social class. Now society, as we can say, it is one of the most influential or the social organization. It has certain principles, values, and also rules and regulations. Now if certain members do not follow the rules and regulations of the society does not keep that person as a member of the society. The member of the society has to leave the society because it does not go in accordance with the norms, rules, and regulations created by the society. So whenever we take a decision, we always keep in mind whether this thing is going to be acceptable in our society or not. Like consumption of any kind of particular product or use of any kind of particular product, is it going to be acceptable in the society or not? That is what comes into our mind when we take any kind of purchase decision regarding any kind of product. Now the second point here is says that social class. Now social class is basically divided on the basis of income. There are three types of social class: upper class, middle class, and lower class. Upper class having the highest amount of income, middle class having not that kind of money but to some extent moderate amount of income, and the lower class has the least amount of money with them. Now whenever we take decision, it is always influenced by the class to which we belong. Now upper class society, whenever the or the people belonging to upper class, they always feel that they need to show their consumption or show the products that we purchase to the society in order to reflect their status. Because here it says that in India what happens, we always associate status with the wealth. So a person having highest amount of income or high amount of income needs to consume such kind of products which has a major or we can say that which will actually reflect the status. For example, a person having a yearly income of 30 to 40 lakhs or 50 lakhs, and if they want to purchase a car, they are not going to purchase a car like Tata Nano because that does not reflect the status. They are going to purchase a car which will actually reflect the status, an expensive one ranging from 7 lakh to 15 lakh or even more than that. So that that class of society, that class, the people belonging to that class have different kind of preferences, different kind of priorities, and different kind of necessities. So the class to which we belong has a major influence on whatever products we produce, whatever products we consume, how often we consume, and what is the price range of such kind of products. Now let us discuss about the middle class. Middle class does not have that kind of high level income, but to some extent their priorities are very much, or to a larger extent the priorities are very much different from the upper class people. Now middle class people, they focus more on the products which are necessary to them, that is their priority, that is the physiological needs. Then they focus on other requirements like education fees, whatever see the total amount of money to be spent on the education of the children and other kinds of things. So their priorities are different from the upper class people. So their spending or their buying behavior, their consumption behavior or the consumer behavior is very much different from the upper class people. Now let us discuss the last one, that is the lower class. Lower class people, they usually do not have many choices like the upper and the middle class. Now the middle class people also have choices, but in comparison to upper class they have less choices depending upon their preferences and priorities. The lower class people, they do not have any choice. They have very limited amount of income, and the basic priority, the most important thing for them is food and shelter. So these are the basic two things which are very much necessary for the lower class, and most of the amount of money of this lower class people is spent on these two necessity item or necessary items only. So here we can say that the group to which we belong has major influence on the buying behavior of a consumer, how we take a decision, what are the products we purchase, and to what extent what is the amount of the products we purchase. So every purchase decision of a human being has major influence of the society or the group to which he or she belongs. Now let us discuss the fourth one. The fourth point here is says that social psychology. Now in the previous one, the psychology is the study of the group. Now social psychology here it says that we are not associated only few groups, like I mentioned in the last one, that is society and social class. Those are the basic two groups or categories of the society or the sociology thing. But here in social psychology, we belong to various types of groups. Now, for example, when we were kids, we had different kinds of friends from school, from neighbors. That is one of the group. When we became teenagers, we had different types of groups like friends and other friends. Then we started doing job. When we go to college, when we do job, after retirement, after these are the things, these are the time period through which in which we belong to various numbers of groups, and these groups both formal and informal has major influence on the buying behavior of the consumer. That is social psychology. Here means we become part of more than one group, we become part of many groups. Now how these groups have influence over a consumer, or we can say how these groups have influence over us. Even if we take any kind of purchasing decision, it influences our decision, it influences the product that we purchase. Okay, here it says that we belong to or we survive within a particular environment. Now this external environment like the groups which we are part of has major influence on our buying decision, or we can say on our consumer behavior. Now these are the 3 points which actually represents or explains that how as a consumer our decisions are influenced by the groups, the various groups or the external environment within which we belong or within which we survive. See, here it is not only study about the groups, but it is also about the study of our external environment, that is the external environment of the consumer. See, as a human being, we are already part of a society, we are already part of many groups, but these groups and including us, we are part of an environment. So in order to understand the consumer behavior pattern or the buying behavior of the consumer, first of all we need to understand the environment within which a consumer survives or within which the consumer lives. So that we have to understand. Now this environment consists of various types of groups. Now the first one here is says that conformity to the group norms. Now every group has certain kinds of rules, regulations, not formal rules or regulations, certain things that is followed from a long time period that has not changed. Like we say the culture of to which we belong, the culture, the traditions that we follow, the customs, the rituals. So those things create certain kinds of rules and regulations. And when we become part of that kind of groups, or when we accept the culture, when we belong to a particular culture, when we understand the traditions, rituals and customs, we always try to work according to that. We always try to consume or use those products which are not going against the culture or not going against the group norms. So the acceptance of the group is very much necessary for us. Whenever we consume a product, whenever we use a product, we need acceptance from the group. We do not want to do something which is not acceptable by the group to which we belong. So that is the first point. The second one is influence process. Now what does influence process here means? Now this influence process means that the group to which we belong not only has influence on our decision, but it also has the power of changing our consumption pattern. Overall consumption pattern can be changed only by the influence of certain groups. I'll give an example. When we were kids, we used to see what our friends used to do, and we try to have that kind of lifestyle. We try to want to buy those kinds of things which our friends have. That is the changes, that is the influence of the group on the buying decision or the consumption decision of a consumer. But for example, if you're living in a very small town and after a certain time period you went to a big city like Bangalore, Mumbai, or anywhere. So if you compare the lifestyle of a person living in a small town and living in a big town, there is a huge difference between the lifestyle. So when a person who is already living, who is living since many years in a particular small town, has moved to a bigger town or bigger city, he or she wants to have that kind of lifestyle, and because of that they try to change their entire consumption pattern. They wear those kind of outfits which are acceptable in that society, or which are very casual, very considered to be very what we can say casual and cool in that society. And we try to change our consumption pattern, whether it is eating, whether what kind of food we eat, what kind of dress we wear. Even it also has influence on our personality. So that leads to various kinds of change in the consumption pattern. Now the last one is the role of a leader. Now every group has a leader. Now what kind of role does the leader play? That is also very important. If the leader is very we can say strict regarding the rules, regulations, the norms of the groups, then the members will also try to follow those rules very strictly. But if the leader does not have that kind of strong image, or he or she is some kind, or the person, or even if there is an organization who considers to be a leader of the group, is very liberal, is not very strict, in the same way it will also influence the consumption behavior or the buying behavior of the consumer. So these are the three things which has major influence on the consumer behavior. Because when we become part of a group, we want acceptance from the group, and we do not want to do something which will make the group reject us, or they will think that this person does not belong to our group because he or she is not following the rules and regulations of the group. And for that reason we always try to reflect our or reflect our acceptance of the group through our consumption, that we have accepted the group wholeheartedly, we want to become part of the group, and that's why we consume those products, we buy those products which are acceptable by the group members. So that is the, we can say, the influence of the group on the consumer behavior, or as a person, which is reflected in the buying behavior of the consumer. Okay, now let us discuss the last point, that is cultural anthropology. Okay, so as you can see, there is a mistake that here, see, sociology is the third point, social psychology is the fourth point, there is a little bit typing mistake. And the fifth one, this is the fifth point, that is cultural anthropology, and there's a typing mistake, it is written here 3, but it is actually the fifth point, the last point of interdisciplinary contribution to consumer behavior. Now what is culture? Now culture is a set of, we can say, set of rules, regulations, customs, rituals, certain kind of science are also part of the culture, the rituals, customs, tradition that we follow. So culture, actually cultural anthropology actually explains how a person behaves in a particular situation or within a particular culture. See, psychology, sociology, they explain why a person behave in a particular manner, but here it explains how a person actually behaves when they become part of a culture, when they accept the culture. So here it clearly says that culture has major influence on human beings, and when they become part of the society, or even if they are not part of the society, culture has a basic influence over every person, and that influence is represented in their behavior, in their attitude, and also in the buying behavior of the consumer. Now here you can see that there are 3 points mentioned here: joint family system, caste system, and attitude towards wealth. Now in India, joint family is very common. It is one of the basic thing that is found in every family, that a group of people are living as a family. Unlike the other family in the Western culture where there is a system of nuclear family, in Indian culture we have the system of joint family. Now in a joint family, who usually takes a decision? The decision is usually taken by the head of the family. Whoever is the head of the family basically takes the major and important decisions, and these decisions also include certain types of products which are consumed by the entire family. But nowadays, certain small decision regarding the consumption is taken by all the members of the family. For example, a single person, a person wants to consume a particular item. None of the family members want to use it. So they can go ahead and purchase it by themselves. So usually what happens, many years back only the head of the family used to take the consumption decision or the buying decision, but now almost all the family members take the decision, and ultimately the major decisions are taken by the head of the family. So this has also major influence on the consumption pattern, because when a person lives in a joint family, they always consume those products which are chosen by the head of the family. So they actually may not have certain many choices uh, like other people who live in nuclear family. So that has influence on the purchasing decision or buying decision of a consumer. Next one is caste system. Now we can say the discrimination regarding against caste, or the discrimination based on caste has now is decreased, or we can say that it does not even considered like this. It's kind of wrong if you discriminate someone on the basis of the caste. So it is extremely unethical, immoral, and also considered to be illegal if you are going to discriminate someone on the basis of caste. Now here, how does caste system affect our consumer behavior? Now here it says that in India, caste system is a very old thing, that it is still prevailing, and on basis of that we have certain kind of consumption pattern that we follow from generation to generation. So that is the family thing, that is the family aspect of the system, that whatever things that we consume, whatever things we use is influenced by the caste system that we are part. Okay, it may not have major influence in the big cities, but in smaller cities or villages, this caste system also has major influence on them. Now let us discuss the third one, attitude towards wealth. Now in India, wealth is considered to be a sign of prosperity and happiness. If a person, if a family is wealthy, has high income, has good amount of property and other things, they are considered to be happy, they are considered to be prosperous and all that. So wealth is attached with the prosperity and happiness of a family or a member. So what kind of attitude we have towards wealth, whether we take it for granted or we does not respect it, what kind of means, here it says that whether we treat money like any other thing, or we have certain kind of respect towards it because we need to spend it properly, or else after a point of time, if the money is not spent wisely or properly, if the money is wasted, then it will lead to many kinds of adverse problems. So here in India, we people always believe in savings. We always try to save a certain amount of money for future contingencies, which may happen, which may not happen. For future contingencies and for future emergency, we have this, we can say, tradition of saving in our country. So that is our attitude towards wealth. We save a certain amount of money, and whatever money is left after that, then we use for consumption purpose. So that is our attitude towards the wealth. We do not spend each and every amount of income on many things. We keep certain amount of money for savings purpose. We spend certain amount of money on necessary items, basic items, and then we go for other items. So that is our attitude towards wealth, or we can say that is our attitude towards spending of money. So here we can say that these are the things, these are the disciplines which has major influence over the study of consumer behavior. Now, if we do not understand these 5 important disciplines, it is kind of very difficult to conduct the study of consumer behavior. So, this is the end of the topic, or we can say that these are the 5 points which we have already discussed. Okay, now let us move to another topic. Now, this topic is application of consumer behavior, how the study of consumer behavior is used in various areas or various regions, that we are going to discuss it now. Okay, now application here means these consumer behavior can be applied in profit marketing, it can be applied in social marketing and non-profit marketing and strategic marketing. So this, first of all, what does application means, why it is used? Now, every company, like I said, they have to focus on consumer behavior if they want to survive in the market, if they want to become successful, if they want to grow and expand. Now, why this study is necessary? This study helps the organization, helps the company to understand the demands of the consumer, what kind of products the consumer actually demand. And after knowing that, the company can prepare such kind of products by optimum use of their resources. They can prepare such kind of products and they can provide it to the consumers. So consumer behavior actually, what we can say, reveals about the unfulfilled desires and wants of the consumers, so that the company can, the organization can produce such kind of goods and services and provide them to the consumers to fulfill their requirements, fulfill their desires and wants. So that is the basic reason why consumer behavior is applied, is used in marketing, in order to increase the number of consumers, in order to analyze what kind of product consumers want, and also in order to prepare or to some extent modify their products so that they can actually fulfill the demand of the consumers. Now, the first area in which consumer behavior is applied and maximum benefit is obtained out of it, or we can say that consumer application of consumer behavior is very necessary in that area. So the first point that you're seeing on the screen is application in profit marketing. Now, first of all, profit is considered to be one of the most important element, or that is the basic reason why an company or an organization even starts a business. So the basic reason of starting of any business is profit. So what is profit marketing? Now here we have to prepare certain marketing strategies which can help the organization to increase the profit. So what are the things, what type of strategies can actually help to increase the profit? First of all, the company needs to understand the requirements and needs of the consumers, then prepare those products or make necessary modifications in the necessary products, and then make it better from the consumers, or make the products available before the, make it better than the competitors, So we have to create a product which is better than our competitors, which fulfills the needs and requirements of the consumers, and we need to make these products and services available before our competitors. So that helps in increasing the profit of the organization. Now here, profit marketing basically means we need to market our products in such a way that it will increase the profit, and it will also help the organization to take necessary advantage of the situation and the opportunities. Okay, the first point that we are seeing under application in profit marketing is analyze the opportunity. Opportunity here means identifying the unfulfilled requirements and needs of the consumers, and also analyze and find out the threats. Now threats here means the environmental changes which has major influence on every organization. So we need to understand the environmental factor in order to make any kind of marketing strategy. So first of all, we need to understand, we need to analyze the opportunity, find out the unfulfilled needs and requirements, prepare a product and make it better than our competitors and make it available before our competitors to the consumers. Okay, so that is analysis of opportunity. Now, how we are supposed to understand what kind of products and services are required by the consumers? By analyzing their lifestyle, their consumption pattern, the income, whether it is increasing or decreasing. Now, let us take an example of the present scenario. What is the product which is sold in the market in the present scenario? That is the face mask and hand sanitizers and also hand wash. So these are the products which has maximum demand in the market today. Many companies are actually manufacturing these kind of products in order to have certain number of sales. Many beauty product companies are also producing hand sanitizers so that they can provide these products to the consumers, because that is the present requirement. Many companies, like we can say Biotech is the company which never produced hand sanitizers, but now they are producing. The companies like Savlon, they have made the hand sanitizers better by including high, or we can say by increasing the level of alcohol in the hand sanitizer. So they have modified the product in order to take advantage of the opportunity, take advantage of the present scenario, of the present requirement. So this not only benefits the company, but it also benefits the consumer, because the product which was not available during the initial stages of this coronavirus, now it is available because many companies are manufacturing it. So it benefits the company as well as the consumers. So that is profit marketing, understanding the requirements of the consumers, understanding the income, the level of income, the lifestyle, the different kind of changes in the consumption pattern of the consumer, and then creating or making necessary modification in the product. Now the second point is segmentation, targeting and positioning. First we have to segment the market, then we have to target the segmented market, and then we have to position the product. Now this consumer behavior can be applied for segmentation of the market, for targeting the segmented market, and then positioning. So what is segmentation of market? Segmentation here means division of market based on certain kinds of characteristics of consumer or certain kind of attitude or requirement of the consumer. For example, age group. Age is one kind of segment. There are certain products which are focused on certain age group of people. Now let me give example of the gadgets that we use, whether it is laptop or smartphone. We always see people using the product, either they are youngsters, college students, school students, or they are working people. So they always target the young generation for electronic gadgets, whether it is any kind of computer, smartphone, or even earphones, Bluetooth kind of earphones. So these are the products are marketed specially for the youngsters. Now the elderly people who has crossed their retirement age, who are retiring, you are going to see that many kinds of healthcare products are targeted towards it. These are the different kinds of segment based on age group, based on income, based on different attributes of the personality. So in that way, they divide the market into various segments. Now after doing that, they have to select the target market. Either they want to select one segment or they want to select more than one segment. Okay, like the example I gave, the hand sanitizer, it is applied to every category, whether you're a child, whether you're adult, whether you're old, whatever. But still certain kind of income is involved in the product, because people having good amount of income, they can afford hand sanitizer, but people having low, like the people belonging to the low class society, social class, they may not afford this product. So selecting target market means either they want to select one segment or two segment, and they must understand that this segment is the requirement of this segment is in accordance with the marketing of the product, the creation of the product means the company, whatever product the company is manufacturing, is actually helpful in satisfying the needs of the consumers, needs of those segments. So that is the selecting of target market. Next one is, then we have to position the product. Position means we have to communicate about our product. We have to communicate about the features, the advantages, what are the basic uses of our products to the consumers, to this target market, so that they can understand the basic elements of our product, basic features of our product, and then they can make a decision whether to buy this product or not. And that is that is done through various types of advertising, promotions, and all those things. So we have to position our product within this target market. Okay, so uh, in the as I have already mentioned that this is the first point, that is application in profit marketing, and I have discussed 2 points under it. In the next session, I am going to explain the third and the fourth point, which will help you to understand clearly how consumer behavior is applied in profit marketing. So these are actually the steps, how these are the steps which actually help then organization in order to increase the profit of the organization through marketing by using consumer behavior. So these are the first two steps which I have already discussed. In the next session, I am going to discuss the other two steps, that is designing marketing strategy, then designing marketing mix. These are the two important points which come under profit marketing. Then I am going to discuss application in social marketing, means the organization which are not created for profit making purpose, how they use consumer behavior. And then last, at the like a separate point, I am going to discuss what is the importance, how consumer behavior, the study of consumer behavior is used in strategic marketing, means in creation of certain kind of strategy, how the study of consumer behavior is used. So these are the topics which I am going to discuss in the next class. So this is it for today. We will meet in the next session. Thank you.